Good evening, this is Atmospheric Alex here with yet another severe weather outlook and discussion. We will be talking about the tropics in this video, but for right now, we are going to be talking about a fairly active pattern of severe weather again across the northern Midwest and the northern Plains region. I also want to mention that I have brand new overlays here for the video, and I hope you all enjoy them over on the right side of the screen, if I remember correctly. And I hope you enjoy kind of this new lighting over here and everything like that. I'm trying to make things just a little bit more professional, I guess is a good way to put it, so I'm not just floating there at the top of the screen in space, right? Now, we're going to start off today's video with something really cool. This is our satellite imagery here, our GOES 19 satellite imagery, our red bands here, and this is basically showing you a high-resolution look at our supercells have been blowing up across Colorado throughout today, and my goodness, you could see all the intricate details in these storms here. All these cumulus clouds forming along boundaries being sucked upwards like this. A lot is going on in there, and it is absolutely incredible to see here on the College of DuPage satellite imagery. But of course, now it is time to move on to our Storm Prediction Center's convective outlook for today. We're talking about a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale for a couple of areas here where we do have storms ongoing. You can take a look here across Montana, South Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming a little bit there, Kansas, Colorado, into, that area of Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas. We're seeing some pretty explosive supercell development here with some very large and destructive hail being possible out of these storms, as you're about to see right here. Goodness gracious, I guess it's been quite a day, hasn't it, getting things set up. But look at this here. We do have a hatched risk for hail here, so hail excess of 2 inches in diameter could cause quite a bit of damage. Our tornado risk, we do have a bit of an exclamation point here. I mean, look at that right there, danger, watch out, right? That's what you would see on a classic YouTube thumbnail, that gigantic exclamation point. Well, luckily we don't have too much to worry about, but still an isolated tornado is definitely possible, if not likely, in these conditions here today. And then our wind risk, well, we just have a large 15% just like normal. For tomorrow's risk, we do have yet again a large slight risk through North Dakota and South Dakota here for the threat of supercells and linear segments of storms. Our tornado risk goes as follows, a nice 2% there. Our hail risk, definitely at 15%, and then your wind risk, still 15%. But I think we could have a hatched risk for hail, more particularly here. 2-inch diameter hail cannot be ruled out in tomorrow's environment. Then day 3, we do have a large marginal risk. I'm not expecting too much out of this, but could we see a slight risk upgrade? For sure, we certainly could. We also have to go over our excessive rainfall outlook, because, we've been seeing a lot of flooding, not exactly lately, but, a few weeks ago, and a month ago especially, so we need to talk about this a bit. We do have a level 2 out of 4 on the flash flood scale here, I think is what they would call it. A slight risk here across portions of Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky. This down here across the southeast as well needs to be watched due to a tropical disturbance that is starting to develop in your yellow shaded areas. And then your green areas there, especially up here in Montana, that's a lot lower of a risk. As we move into tomorrow, same song and dance again. This little tropical disturbance down here could stir up some precipitation. Maybe try and fling some of it up here into these areas, but we'll just have to wait and see. Time will only tell. Now then, I currently want to take a look at our thunderstorms or severe weather going on across Colorado here. You could see some of your severe thunderstorms. If we head on over to our velocity tool, you could see that we don't have really any areas of rotation as of now. You do see some of our couplets forming right within here, but nothing too significant, so I don't expect any tornadoes out of these storms just yet. That could change over the next few hours very easily, though. Then, of course, further south along Los Animas here, I hope that's how you say it, we definitely do have quite an intense supercell down here producing very large 2 to potentially 3-inch diameter hail. I saw some even higher radar returns earlier, more extreme amounts of rain and hail falling in that storm, so definitely quite the situation out there. And our velocities, we do have very strong winds in this storm. Not seeing much rotation. There is a lot of contamination due to all your hail. Your radar is right up here, and you have beams that shoot into the storm like like this, and if you have a lot of hail, it can actually bounce back towards the radar and corrupt all the data. That is what we are seeing right now. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at our future radar into tonight from our HRRR model. That is getting absolutely nothing right, so really take this with a grain of salt. You see your supercell south of Lamar there in Colorado, and then your segment of storms up here. We do have a little bit of stuff going on. We'll have to see what that does. This does turn into a damaging line of storms with potentially 60 to 80 mile an hour winds and very large hail. Look at around North Platte here, McCook into Nebraska. Something we need to watch going into around 12 to 4 a.m. tonight. And that continues moving through. More storms possibly in Nebraska. It's going to be a very loud and stormy night out there for sure. And again, if you haven't already, please be sure to set your weather radios. I hope I'm pointing to the right area there of the screen where you'll see it flash up for the weather radios. And please also turn on emergency alerts on your phone just so you can get woken up if a really significant storm is going to move through and cause a ton of problems. Your environment out here goes as follows. We definitely do have quite the environment out here for these storms back here in northeastern Colorado. Some of your red and hot pink colors in your supercell composite indicate your tornado threat will be increasing a lot going on through into tonight. So definitely need to watch those supercells out there. If they become well shapen, if they become separated from each other and not all clustered, our tornado threat will rise with those. Going into tomorrow on our HRRR model, you see some severe storms trying to pop up in North Dakota there, going in around 1 to 3 p.m. in the evening, or in the afternoon. Goodness gracious. As we go further south into South Dakota, here's definitely some severe storms pop up around Pierre and Aberdeen potentially here, going in around 3 to 5 p.m. Central Time. And those will continue moving on off to the east here in the south and become quite intense with very large hail being possible, upwards of 2 to 3 inches in diameter. Your environment looks like this. Certainly do have your threat out there for severe weather in your orange and red shaded areas. So we do have elevated supercell composite parameters here. So definitely going to have to watch out for all of that. As we move on into Wednesday here on your NAM model, we're not seeing really all too much just yet. Couple of storms popping up kind of in the wrong area, so take that with a major grain of salt for sure. And that really continues going on through. But we do have a lot of storm energy on Wednesday, so storms could definitely fire and be severe. I'm especially looking at areas further south here into Nebraska. That is something we're really going to have to watch for more significant development. However, that is just not all of the severe weather we will be seeing over the next week. Look at our European model here with our storm energy being outlined here. We're going to be taking a look at a ton of it here across our northern plains, and I'm going to tell you what, we could certainly be talking about a significant severe weather event / outbreak or two at some point over the next week with these ingredients in mind. We are going to see a bit of dry air aloft, which could limit some of these storms, but if they do break through the cap, this could get quite serious quite quickly. We've been seeing this all year, so you kind of know what to expect, right? Going on into Friday, whoa, yeah. Talking roughly around 4,000, maybe even 6,000 Cape out here, storm energy that will be available. And you can see storms do try and fire, but that dry air aloft really keeps them at bay. And we just continue on through into Sunday, into Monday. Take a look at this. Your bathtub returns across the entirety of your southeast U.S., or really areas outside the southeast U.S. as well, seeing in between 2,000 to 3,000 storm energy. So pop-up daytime thunderstorms could be strong to severe again, like we've been seeing lately. And yeah, definitely severe weather back on the menu for a large area. I cannot forget about you all down in Florida, too. I might want to add that extension. Certainly need to watch out. Keep your eyes on the radar, just kind of keep your eyes glued to the local forecasts as well. And this just kind of continues, and is it going to ever end? We'll have to wait and see, right? Only time will tell. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That's going to be something to watch as well in the tropics. And speaking of our tropics here, we're going to look at your European ensemble model here over the next 15 days. Now, again, this is going to be kind of like a blend here. So every individual value here, every single number, This is an individual member right here, printing out its own individual low pressure system. So, when you see this, it doesn't mean that there's going to be 20 tropical storms heading off into the Atlantic. No, no, no. These are 20 different members saying that there is a chance for a tropical storm in that area. And speaking of a tropical storm in that area, take a look here off your Carolina coast. We could be talking about yet another storm system possibly. I don't want to jump the gun yet, but we just had Dexter. Could we see our next named storm in line? We'll just have to wait and see, right? That's why we have a yellow area out there defined. And that kind of breaks up. But as we go across your main Atlantic region here, like your deep tropics here, we're going to start to see a African wave train depart here. We're going to start to see tropical waves like this going in this general direction here. This is something we're going to need to keep all eyes glued onto here as we head into mid-August. I really do think that we could be talking about a much bigger increase in tropical weather activity than we have seen over the past month. So please keep your eyes on the forecast here, because it could get quite interesting. And for you folks in the Lesser and Greater Antilles and all down there in the Caribbean, please keep an eye on this, because, all it takes is one. I'm not saying we're going to see that, but again, a lot of agreement here for potentially a tropical system to move through your area with heavy rain, strong, possibly damaging winds, and a lot of flooding as well. Maybe even some storm surge. We're going to have to monitor this closely. And yeah, our member agreement really picks up here. Some of them fling it into the Gulf, some of it fling it into the Atlantic. Unfortunately, it prints out a very strong high pressure system, which does steer all of it into this general area here. We really need to monitor this. How about our GEFS model here? I would like to note we do have a tropical wave up and ready right in this area. I didn't mention it on our last model, but it is right there. I have a feeling it will go north, but we really cannot tell for sure yet as to what's going to happen as it goes a little too far out. But again, the GEFS, same exact thing as the EPS. Look at this little cone right here that begins to develop. We're going to really have to keep an eye on this, right? And most importantly, do not panic about this, okay? What's going to happen is going to happen, and all you can really do is just prepare just in case, because you never know what is coming your way. Take a look at that agreement there, my goodness. And the ensemble models are very, very helpful when depicting tropical weather activity, not your main global models. This is the most accurate one, the European, but as you can see, we're going really far out here. This is past 10 days, even going 2 weeks from now. This is diabolical right here. Holy cow. No, all right? If you see this online, please do not trust it, okay? Just please, all right, I'm telling you, you need to trust the ensemble models, the blend of models here. But if you see an individual model run like this, please know that they are hyping up the situation just a little too far, whether they realize it or not. And that could really freak out a lot of people. So please be careful who you trust online as we go throughout the rest of this hurricane season, because this happening here, a Category 5 going into Florida, 20 days out, is very unlikely, okay? Especially this exact scenario here. Please do not believe everything you see online. That is basic internet etiquette right there. And with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed today's video with the new layout and everything like that. Again, trying to spruce things up a little bit, especially as I head into college here in the next 2 weeks. I need a setup that is very easy to manage, especially with a laptop. Things are going to get interesting and hopefully not break all the time. That's what I'm hoping for. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my little corner of the weather community, and even feel free to leave a comment in the section below if you enjoyed the video, and share this with friends and family on social media to really spread the word out there. And speaking of social media, I do have now an X account and an Instagram account, as you saw, just over there in this sliding bar right there. Now, I'm not currently using them just yet, but I do plan on posting some storm photos over on Instagram, and other cloud photos as well, and then maybe more in-depth weather analysis, posts and stuff, and custom graphics as well, over on X. So, please stay tuned for that. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but it will be sooner rather than later. Stay very weather aware for severe weather and tropical weather. I'm probably going to have a tropical weather outlook coming out very soon, so we'll have to see what happens there. And have a wonderful night, everyone.